my poor girl, are you stuck down there? And you can't get up past the barrier? Well, that really sucks to be you. Well, she comes up here and she creates all kinds of havoc, and she has a hard time getting down, so it's easier on her if I leave her down there. All right, so, I forgot to get to... What? You're not going to make me... That's right. Yeah. She's like, how come you get to go up there and I can't go up there? I forgot a guitar, guys. I gotta grab a guitar. All right, so before my video was interrupted by animals always interrupting my videos, I gotta grab another guitar. Because the discussion is, can PRS make a freaking metal guitar? Well, the simple answer is yes, they've made two. Now, I haven't played a lot of PRSs over the years, to be honest with you, so I'm not a PRS expert guy. In fact, the last thing I've ever expected from PRS was a metal guitar. Right now, I got two Mark Holcomb guitars here. Standard tuning, and did you hear that? One more. The guitar came in drop C tuning, which is awesome enough. But I've done the tuning, if you're wondering what it is, it's C, G, C, G, G, D. I was going for open C tuning, not drop C, but open C tuning. And then I realized I was in drop C when I did this. I'm like, oh, that's not open C tuning. It's something else. It's a whole step down from that. So it's like, I don't even know what to really call it. I just call it the So Good tuning. Yeah, it's really cool tuning. But back to the task at hand. The task at hand is, can PRS make metal guitars? Okay, the only other PRSs I've ever played, okay, these are SE models, which is their budget model line, but this is not the budget model. This is definitely these are very professional guitars. What I've played years ago in the 90s, way back in the 90s, I was always fascinated by the beauty of a PRS, right? And always baffled by the prices, you know. But these guitars, I think, bang for the buck, especially this one right now, is on sale in some places. So, you know, if you're going to pick one up, now's the time. If you can find this guitar in stock somewhere. I think they're below $1,000 in the States right now. Guys, buy two. They're so good. You got to live with them for a little while because these are a little bit different than any other PRS out there. But I tried a custom 24 core model years ago. It was $3,300 back in the 90s. It was a whale blue one, which I thought was just the nicest color ever on a guitar. And when I got it, or played it, I didn't get it, I played it in the music store, I was just like, I had this expectation, because I saw guys like, you know, Ted Nugent, you know, when he was in the damn Yankees, play it live, and I was like, that guitar sounds good. And then I saw, you know, like, you know, just a few people playing them or whatever. They weren't really super, they were popular enough, but it's just like either people played Les Pauls or Strats, right? Or Telecasters and the odd SG. The PRS was kind of like a very status symbol guitar. Everybody remembers that. There was one PRS everybody probably remembers back in the 90s, the Dragon guitar. Yes, the Dragon inlay guitar. Instead of having the seagulls, it was a Dragon inlay the whole way. It was a core model. Thing was like $10,000. It was in the whale blue. It was absolutely stunning guitar. I never seen one in real life, but it was just like, wow, just wow. But the inlay work, all that stuff, just, you know, it just did it for me, right? Whatever. But then I picked it up and I played it. I'm like, this thing's really like a Stratocaster. It's a Strat neck on it. I was like, such a beautiful guitar. It's not a metal guitar. The pickups were very Les Paulish, like classic 59 kind of sounding, right? The it wasn't the metal guitar I wanted. It was hence why I never pursued them. I've always thought of them as the classic rock guitar, the country guitar, the jazz guy guitar. I never saw them as metal guitars. They weren't like the Ibanez Wizard necks. They weren't like the the Charvels or the Jacksons or the BC Riches or whatever the Hamers. I always call them hammers, but Hamers. They weren't like that at all. Now, I know some of you, before we get too far in this, because if I don't say it, I get chewed out in the comments. There's going to be no sound samples in this video. This is just a discussion. I do discussion videos. And then if you want to check out my channel, you'll hear lots of this guy, lots of this guy. Hopefully pretty soon you'll get lots of recordings with this tuning. I'm hopefully going to finish up the song today called The Pawn's Revenge. There's The Pawn, which was done, I believe, with this guitar. Or was it done with this guitar? Or no, it was done with the Flying V. Never mind. But Pawn's Revenge was recorded in this tuning. Oh, so good. So good. That's why I call it the So Good tuning. Yeah, so the thing is that I just kind of put PRS out of my mind. I always knew they were a really good quality instrument. Anytime I'd ever played them, maybe only ever played a handful of other PRSs, and they were all core models. The creme de la cremes, right? The SE models. I remember the first time I saw an SE model, and I was like, oh, okay, well, it looks like. And I saw the budget guitar. I was in the Lozon Music, where they carry a lot of them. And I was just like, okay, well, whatever. I didn't bother picking one up. I was just like, I looked at it. And the thing that has always turned me off the PRS is the Fender style tremolo. Like, why even waste your time on that? Maybe have one or two models with that for vintage sake, to compete with a Fender, whatever. But either go Floyd or go fixed. Now, these bridges are basically that tremolo arm. And they've just redone the saddle so that you make a hardtail out of it. And these are the nicest bridges I've ever played. You got complete. Look at the adjustment you have. You can intonate these things. I mean, drop C, no problem. Double drop A, no problem. You've got lots of adjustment there. So these are probably my favorite bridge that I've played to date. I like them that much. They're so good. This one's a little bit different. This is more the saddle's different on this. This is probably a more refined version of the tremolo saddle, right? Where it's rounded here. I don't know if you can see that. Here where it's more like the traditional tremolo where it's just squared off, but it's bigger because it's 7-string, right? So these are custom to these guitars. If you get a chance to play one of these Mark Holcomb Signature Series guitars, definitely do it. They're going to be weird at first. They're not everybody's cup of tea at first, but the longer you live with them, the harder it is to want to play other guitars. They're that good. I totally get what Mark Holcomb was after with these guitars, the more I play them. But anyway, so when I was looking for a 7-string, I told myself, well, a 7-string was, if I want to get into modern guitar sounds, okay, I definitely wanted a fixed bridge for a 7-string. I don't want a Floyd on a 7-string. Too much string tension. The Floyd's not going to, yeah, I could do dive bomb and stuff, but I can't really do the whammy bar gymnastics without working really hard, you know what I mean? And I just didn't want to deal with the pain in the ass of a Floyd or anything like that. So I wanted a fixed bridge. So I looked at all the models that were out there, and there was quite a lot of models built down to price and stuff like that. And then I saw these things, and I'm like, okay. So this guitar was on my list. So I've had this guitar almost a year now. And this guitar was on my list, and I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and there weren't in stock anywhere, so I had lots of time, months to think about it, right? And then, how am I doing for time here? Okay, good. Then what ends up happening is they come into stock, and I looked at the specs: mahogany body, maple neck, ebony fingerboard, really high output pickups, but I never got to try one, right? I never saw one, never got to try one, so I looked around. Couldn't find one. But anyway, I'll make a part 2 here.